Okay guys, so to begin this haircut, I'm gonna start by wetting the hair all up top so I can start doing my shear work. Once everything is well saturated, I will start by sectioning out my profile section so that we can cut our desired hairstyle up top. I will section it out to be about a finger in length wide before coming in and basically start trimming away our desired length up top. This middle section is basically going to be our base foundation of how the rest of the length will be trimmed away. So since I do want the back to be shorter than the front, you'll see that I start slanting basically my guideline as I reach the front so that we leave more length in the front, since this is going to be a comb over. When doing comb overs, you're always going to want to leave a good amount of length, especially in the front. That way you have enough length to actually comb over, because if you do cut this too short, then you'll end up just being with hair that just wants to stick right up. And next I'm gonna move forward by trimming the rest of the hair, and as you see our guideline right here, we're gonna basically just match that to the rest of the sides of the hair. And we're gonna continue this process till we reach the front of the head, and then we'll move forward and repeat the exact same steps on the right side of the head so that everything on top is nicely cut even. And when you're pulling out these sections, try to ensure that these sections are no more than a finger in length wide, just to ensure that you get the top length cut out as even as possible. The thicker these sections are, the more of a uneven length you'll be resulted in. So once you're done moving all the way to the front of the head, you're just basically gonna move over to the right side and repeat the exact same steps till everything on top is nicely cut and even. And once I'm done, I'm gonna just quickly blow dry everything so we can start our clipper work. I'm gonna start with my number 4 guard closed, just so I could come in and debulk a lot of this hair, just so that we can leave a cleaner space before we come in and set in our guidelines. And since I'm doing a mid-drop fade, I'm only going to debulk exactly where I know my guidelines will be set at. Moving forward, I will come in with my number 1 guard closed and continue my debulking phase. With the number 1 guard, be careful not to go too high. I'm basically going to just set it down exactly where I know I will set in my first guideline with the clipper with no guard. And this is just so you can see exactly where your first guideline will be set without having all this excess hair basically hanging over it. I will come in with the clipper now, lever closed, and set in my first guideline. And since we're doing a mid-drop fade, I will start right here about the temple peak area, and I will slant as I reach the back occipital bone, or that little hump in the back of the head that we have, and basically curve it right under that until we reach the opposite side of the temple peak. Next, I will open my lever all the way and set in my second guideline, coming up about a finger in length up high. I'm gonna continue this process until I basically reach the opposite side of the head, and make sure it basically runs parallel to the first guideline we set with the 0. Next, I'm coming in with the 1 guard, open lever, and I'm gonna set in my third guideline. Again, running parallel to the previous guidelines, I'm gonna come up about another finger in length up high. Make sure you're not digging in these guidelines, that way when it comes time to blending them out, they're not so hard to do so. Next, I'm gonna come in with my number 2 guard, lever open, and here I'm not so much gonna focus on setting in guidelines, but more so just trying to connect the side length to the top length of his hair. I'm only gonna come up about a finger in length up high, but basically trying to keep a square shape to the sides of his hair. Moving forward, I'm gonna come in with my 3 guard, lever open, and basically do the exact same thing, coming up a little bit higher. And remember, you're basically just moving upwards on the sides of his head with these guards, and not so much cutting into the top length of his hair. And to finish connecting the sides with the top of his hair length, I'm gonna come in with my shears, pulling out a small section at a time, and basically creating that square shape, connecting the side length to the top of the hair. And we're only going to grab about a finger in length of a section all around his head until we finish connecting the side to the top. And now that everything here is shaped out, we're left here with our 3 guidelines that need blending. We'll start by removing the uppermost guideline. For that, I'm gonna come in with my 1.5 clip, lever open to about 3/4, and only using about the corners of the clippers, working in small sections at a time until we get it all blended out. Once that one's completely taken out, I'm gonna come in with my 1/2 clip, keeping the lever in the same position to the 3/4, and start taking out the middle guideline. It's important to note that this guard won't completely take out this middle guideline. Instead, it will leave basically a softer guideline right above it. But don't worry, we'll come back in with the number 1 guard to finish blending that out. So yeah, just focus on only taking out the start of this middle guideline. So like I said, we still have a little bit more work to do, so I'm gonna come back in with the 1 guard, keeping the lever open in that same position to that 3/4, and basically finish taking out this middle guideline. Next, I'm gonna come in with my clipper lever closed, and then I'll open it halfway, and then I'll open it all the way to finish taking out our initial guideline. So as you see here, I'm gonna start with the clipper lever closed, and I'm gonna focus on just the right side of his head first. And I'm basically here just softening up this initial guideline. And next, I'm gonna come in, open the lever halfway, like I said, and come up a tad bit a little higher. And then finally, I'll open the lever all the way to finish blending out this initial guideline. And once you feel that everything is nicely blended, we'll move forward to another section and complete the exact same process. Here, starting with the clipper lever closed, and then we'll open it halfway and then all the way until everything gets blended out. I like breaking down this last guideline into smaller sections just so that I don't get overwhelmed with the process, since this last guideline does take 3 lever positions to take it out completely. So as you see here, the fade's already coming together as we reach the last section of this guideline. Starting again with the clipper lever closed, then you open it halfway and then all the way, moving up a tad bit at a time until this guideline gets completely taken out. And once you're done, it's a good idea to kind of step back and determine if you're going to need any touch-up work. In this case, I did feel like I needed some, so I came in with my half clip lever open to about 3/4 and basically just spotted any little dark areas I still felt needed blending and just came back in and took those right out. Next, I'm gonna come in with my trimmers and basically start taking out the bottom hair. I first come in with them upside down so that they leave a broader guideline, and then I'll flip them right back over and blend whatever faint line it might have left behind. I come in with my trimmers first upside down so that they leave a broader guideline as opposed to how they do when they're right side up. And this is just to show me how high to come up with my electric shavers. So as you see here, I'm gonna start removing all the bottom excess hair. And like I said, since we came with them upside down at first, you see right there that little faint line, that's gonna be our guideline as to how high to come up with our electric shaver. So yeah, so next we're just gonna come in with our electric shaver and shave up just up until that little faint line that we left behind, so that everything underneath just gets nicely botted out. And next I'm gonna come in and taper out his beard. First I'll come in with the clipper lever open to set in my first guideline, and then I'm gonna close it and basically just blend right under it. Next I grab the one guard lever open and come down a little bit more to set in our second guideline. Then I come in with the half guard lever to the 3/4 and basically blend right under that. And last, I'm gonna come in with the 1.5 clip lever on the 3/4 and basically blend whatever else is left. Moving forward to the lineup work, I'm gonna just basically grab 2 clips, move his hair out of the way so I can come in with my trimmers and set in my box. I'll start by setting in the sidebars and then the middle, and then basically just following up with connecting them. Make sure you take your time when you're lining them up, and you want to make sure his lineup is as straight as possible before coming in with the straight razor. To help you ensure that, just kind of step back and kind of have his head sit up straight, and yeah, just get a broad view of his lineup so that you know everything looks nice and straight. And before I come in with my straight razor, I'm gonna apply a little bit of shaving gel so that I don't cause any skin irritation. And then I'll come in with my straight razor and I'll first shave down, and then I'll shave against the grain just to get a sharper lineup. So when I'm lining up his beard, I like to kind of just briefly shape out the shape of his beard that's desired, and then I'll just come back in and shave against the grain to the excess hair that's left behind. And once I'm done, I'll quickly just brush down his hair with the comb, with the fine-tuned comb it down, and then I'll come in with my trimmers and just kind of trim away any little excess hair that you see sticking out. Next, I'm going to come in with a little bit of enhancements just to help his lineup pop a little darker. And here to finish, I'm gonna just come in by applying a little bit of gel on a comb and just combing it throughout his whole hair just to shape out his comb over. So that's pretty much it, guys, for this tutorial. Here's a quick before and after for y'all. I hope y'all guys enjoyed this video and were able to take something home from it. And yeah, let me know down in the comments sections what y'all's thoughts were. If y'all are new to the channel, make sure y'all are subscribed, and let us know down in the comments what other haircuts y'all like us to go over. So again, guys, my name is Sergio Barron, this is Faded Culture, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.